Hey everybody, this is Kyle with attackofthefanboy.com. I am here with Will, and this is Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain. This is me playing some early missions, so I'm not great at stealth. There's going to be a bit of shooting, but we'll talk about that. So, Will, you actually did our review for Metal Gear Solid 5. I'm way behind. I'm only about 10 hours in, probably around mission 12. You loved the game, so why don't
This
you give
is
it your
one of the best games ever made. I do. I am
high up? All
Yeah,
right.
no, I like this game. No, I remember this mission. This is pretty early on in the game, but I tackled it totally different, and that's I think what is the very coolest thing about Metal Gear Solid 5 is that you can do things in so many different types of ways. You can sit, like you said. You're bad at stealth, you can go in and try and make it happen with guns. And things get a little bit harder, obviously. But, I remember doing this mission on my own, and I got spotted like halfway through. So I went from infiltrating like you are now to having to kind of be on the run and
Yeah, that
and pulling
happens
the
to me
guns out.
later. I don't know that I get spotted during this part, but later on I do. And yeah, that's the biggest thing is just how freeform everything is. Like I've played all the Metal Gear Solid games, all the main ones. I didn't get to play Peace Walker, which was a bad idea because now I have no idea what's going on anymore. But are you super familiar with the series overall?
I've played all the games, but the story has somewhere along the way just kind of lost me
Yeah, it's
as a whole.
But like
But I
here's
enjoy every game that I play. It's just so, like, especially even as with 4, that story was kind of insane. And the way that Metal Gear bounces around and tries to tell this big story is just unheard of in any sort of medium, right? I mean, no one is telling a story where the first entry in the series came out 20 years ago.
yeah.
This is the prequel to that, essentially.
So, so speaking of interesting ways to play, I kind of chain reaction these guys, totally unintentionally. They just keep getting lured forward, and I end up getting all of them
They're like,
knocked out.
what? What's going on up there?
Yeah, but this is what makes Metal Gear Solid great, and the open world. I will admit, overall, I'm still a little mixed on the open world.
Okay.
Because I enjoyed those linear, straightforward adventures. I don't know why that wasn't hitting him is dead on, but so I've been a little mixed, but it really does create. I think the key word that I've felt the whole time is dynamic. Everything about Metal Gear Solid 5 is so open and dynamic and always changing. So you have totally different strategies, like screwing up here and knocking him out very quially
Right.
before he warns anyone.
Yeah,
Absolutely. I could have also taken out the communication satellite so they can't call in backup. Just all this crazy stuff. The Fulton balloons, probably the greatest thing I've ever seen in a video game. It's
Yeah,
so
I've
much
I've,
fun.
I've heard mixed reaction to that. They are fun, but it's also, I think you can overuse it.
I don't care.
Yeah,
They're
you can
freaking
Fulton.
amazing.
Have you upgraded it yet? I mean, you're probably, I don't know how far you are in, but once, I mean, that was kind of the major thing for me about this game was this stuff is great. Like the open world stuff, the ability to, the sandbox aspect of a Metal Gear game, right? A sandbox Metal Gear game essentially, but it's the stuff that's going on in the background with the mother base,
Yep.
and upgrading all your, upgrading your equipment like the Fulton to be able to not only Fulton guys out, but you can Fulton trucks, people in trucks, animals and cargo crates and all these different things in the game, which makes it even more dynamic than maybe you've even experienced at this point. And you're continually doing that stuff to kind of grow Mother Base while you're progressing along. So I just think it's incredible. Not only are you constantly tasked with, completing your objective in this specific map by, I don't remember what the objective was on this mission specifically, but it's like while you're there, you might as well Try to Fulton as many guys out as possible to increase the mother base population. You might as well look around for equipment and supplies. You might as well, if you have a Fulton capable of it, take all their vehicles, take all their gun the emplacements, and just clean this whole area out. And I thought that was so such a perfect fit for this Metal Gear game.
Yeah, I just upgraded to cargo, so I haven't really gotten. I haven't been able to get vehicles or anything, but just being able to fold now people has changed the game significantly. Like, I'm obsessed with. I scan every person. I look for anyone with maybe a C or above rating in something that I need.
Oh yeah, so do I.
I tag them. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do my mission, but I'm gonna get that guy. I'm gonna get him out of there.
Oh, I had a mission. I was so pissed at Quiet because there was a high value target. He wasn't like part of my mission, but I had scouted him out, and then I got spotted, and then she just started picking people off from the distance. She took out the high value target.
Oh man,
like,
I haven't gotten Quiet yet.
I'll put you back in that cage.
I'm dying to get Quiet, and I found the dog, but he hasn't grown up yet, so he can't join me. And apparently
he should be pretty close to getting Quiet.
Takes a knife out of his side and stabs people with it. That's brilliant. I mean, come on. So, yeah, it's the only time that I get down on the game is when I try to compare it to older Metal Gear Solid games. Because then I'm like, the story so far, I'm not very far in, but I'm just like, I don't think it's going anywhere. I don't think there's going to be much to the story. So I'm like, well, that I miss. The linear aspect of the older ones did lend a bit of, like, I always felt like I was doing something important. And even the main missions in this one, occasionally I'm like, that was just kind of like, I rescued a prisoner who then said, but with all that said, those are such minor aspects. So this is jumping ahead a little bit to another mission where I'm rescuing prisoners.
I don't know how far along or how much you've dug into the game, but when you're in those chopper sequences, I think it's one of the controversial things about this game. Some people don't like the way story is delivered when it's delivered to you in a non-direct way, in a optional fashion, and that's what a lot of Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain does. I don't know if you've watched or listened to the cassettes.
I've been trying, yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of the backstory, a lot of the minutia or whatever that you'll get from this game as far as the story is concerned is in those cassettes. So it's like Kojima said, okay, well, they used to do like the codec stuff, right? Where you would sit there and listen to that stuff for however long. Yeah,
it was a bit more. I mean, that could get really tiresome, but it was a little bit more interactive than the cassettes. I'll queue up the cassettes and I'm like, what do I do? I've just got them playing in the background. And if I start a mission, they talk
I'm going to sit on the couch and listen to these for a little while.
I think I
literally did that for a few hours.
They should just make like a playlist, like a Spotify playlist. I can listen to them in the car on the way to work or something.
But if
I probably would. I have enjoyed the ones that I've listened to, but there's just so many. They're so long.
Some of them aren't important, but they'll mark some of the really important ones for like the main story stuff. I think they'll be marked with yellow if you should listen to them. If they really contain a lot of meat for the story, and that stuff does add a lot of color. It's just a matter of whether you're okay with that, or if you would rather preferred Kojima to have done 20-minute cut scenes for these things, where you're sitting in, a chair smoking your laser cigar for a while.
Yeah, I did love them, but I think if the price of losing those things was this open world gameplay, worth losing.
It's a good trade-off. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and just the tiny things. I mean, like I said, I'm not super far in, so I haven't gotten all the upgrades, but I know you can get like a rocket arm, just crazy gear, and just like the tapes. I'm obsessed with collecting the tapes that are in each base and getting all the music.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually gonna mount a rescue up for one of the tapes because I missed it last time, and
All
I want
right.
its, Take on Me, I think. It's in this mission. I didn't get it. I meant to get it, but yeah, just
Oh, that's the mission you're on right now. Okay,
uh-huh.
I see what
Yep.
you're saying. Yeah, I collect them as much as I can. I mean, as I was going through the review, obviously sometimes you can't really stop for everything, and replaying and playing levels again to get this sort of stuff is something that I look forward to doing when I go back to play this for more of my enjoyment, because I will definitely play this again. But I don't know how deep you are into, like, my favorite stuff was the managerial aspect of this game with Mother Base. I really, really loved, like, the building of your army to get that stuff, like you said, like the rocket arm, the better guns and equipment, researching your teams to get those teams to the levels you need to have them at, to make those that different equipment.
Yeah, that's been really becoming a bigger part of my game. I've started upgrading Mother Base, adding platforms. Like I said, I'm specifically targeting guys because, like, oh, I know I need a level 12 R&D team to get this item, so that guy is good in R&D. I'm going after him. I mean, my only question would be how far. What's the payoff on all of that? Is it just that you enjoy building everything up and getting the new equipment, or is there more to it?
Well, you need to do it to get the equipment, and you're
Okay.
going to need some of that equipment as you start getting into later in the game. I think probably maybe like 10 levels from here. I think it's around level 22 is where you'll start getting the FOB stuff as well, where players can invade your base
Yeah.
online. So that starts, making it a little bit, people can be abducted, like high level characters on your team can be abducted, and you can assign security staff to, like, look out for your platforms and stuff. I mean, this game is insane.
Yeah.
With some of the systems that are in it. Some of that stuff hasn't been working really well right from the get-go. The servers were down for a little while, and I played it a little bit, not nearly enough to include it in my review for the game. I think, which is what I said, is like, this stuff is not working that well right now, but it doesn't take away from the single player experience. It's just kind of something extra that once it does start working, this could be pretty cool.
I keep wondering if I'm gonna keep that on or turn it off. I've heard some people say it's better to not have to worry about it, but it sounds so fun. Like, making sure, I think you have to get, like, security cameras and all this stuff just to keep other players from stealing your stuff. It sounds pretty interesting.
Yeah, but can you imagine just doing all the work to build that stuff up and having it ambushed and taken away from you just from online players?
Yeah.
I haven't had that yet. Haven't had that happen yet.
We'll see. Like you said, the servers, I think every time I boot this up, there's a new error message at the very beginning. They have, like, the news feed, and there's like 8 messages that you have to scroll through every single time.
It's like, sorry, this isn't working.
Yeah. This one was cool. This is later in that same mission. The sandstorms that roll in.
Yeah.
And, like, you can use them. Like, I really do. I heard a sandstorm was coming. So I was like, oh, okay, well, I'll get in position and wait for that to hit. And then I can sneak through here, no problem.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And this is a beautiful game, right?
Oh, yeah. This is running on my PC.
Oh, this is PC.
This is PC, and I have a 970, and I can max literally everything and have it run at 60 frames per second. It is not only a gorgeous game, it's a gorgeous game by default, and then it is so well optimized on PC. It's ridiculous.
That's good to hear.
The recommended settings were to put the resolution above what my monitor supports and down-res it. That's when, like, NVIDIA was like, yeah, do that. That's fine. It's crazy. I sit and just marvel at some of the effects that are going on in here. You played on PS4?
Xbox One.
Xbox
I
One?
played the worst version of this game, apparently. But
Well,
I still thought it was
there's
awesome. I mean, it
PS3.
still looks great.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. There is PS3, but
But that was even with that was still looking really good for you.
oh yeah, absolutely.
Nice.
One of the better looking games we've seen so far. Fox Engine looks amazing.
Yep.
Not just it's just there's some really impressive lighting effects in here. I'm sure it looks fantastic on PC. I thought a number of times I said I'm gonna finish this review and then I'm buying this on PC. I'm gonna go back and like really discover every nook and cranny of this game.
Yeah.
But I guess I need to turn the res up on this video for me to actually see it. I'm gonna cut this part, but I couldn't tell this was PC.
Gotcha. Yep, but that about wraps it up. I mean, it's a Metal Gear Solid game, so it was expected that it would be really excellent. But I think this went kind of above and beyond, especially in the fact that it is so different from other Metal Gear Solid games. Don't worry about my friend there saying something. So I don't know that it's probably my favorite Metal Gear Solid game. I don't know. It's tough to say. They're so different, but
I think it's the best playing game ever in the series for sure, without a
yeah,
doubt.
that's true. Yeah, the
But
gameplay.
not just like the ability to be in the open world, but it just plays better. If you went back and played Metal Gear Solid 4 right now, you would think this is the most archaic piece of shit. I'm not joking.
No, yeah, you probably have a point.
This plays so much smoother than previous Metal Gear games, and those games were innovative in a lot of different ways. But this is just something they did a lot of work to make it just feel better, in my opinion. The stealth has got a smoothness to it that the other games didn't have. The other Metal Gear games were decent stealth titles, but there were better ones. See ya, D-Horse. I love how I love like
They're
those.
folding them
I
out.
love those
Yeah.
little touches about
Yep.
this game where D-Horse gets it folding out. What? Because you're leaving. You can't just leave him there. He's got to get back to Mother Base somehow.
Yeah, yep. Kojima went way above and beyond. Just, yeah, it was insane. So that was Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain. It's fantastic. Is the end summary?
If you haven't heard by now,
Yep.
it is fantastic.